I obviously have a much different background here than I usually do. And what happened was I was driving home from running errands, and I figured while I'm driving past Winding River Park, which is in Toms River, maybe I'll just jump off here real quick and shoot a video. And when I was training for the documentary Running the 184, this is where I would do a lot of the trail runs, and it's a beautiful place. And I don't even have my tripod. I'm actually using a couple pieces of wood. It's actually a branch that is the exact same size as a tripod. So it's holding the camera as I hold the tripod of sticks. But what I wanted to talk about today was relapse. All right, now this is a topic that it's very much a part of recovery. And a lot of people don't realize that when they're new to recovery, but when you've been around it and engulfed in it as much as I have been, you start to realize that it is very much a normal part of the equation. So much so that most people will relapse multiple times before they get it and enter into a long-term recovery. So what I like to talk about, and I've done videos on this plenty of times, but it needs to be rehashed over and over and over again because it is such an important part of recovery. What I like to mention in this video is far too often I will speak with people that, you know, they're doing really, really well and they fall off the wagon, okay? They pick up, they feel comfortable in their recovery, they think that they have it beat, and that if they were to, you know, try one pill here or, you know, pick up and just because they had a bad day, maybe they could just have one or two and everything will be kosher. And what they soon find out is it snowballs out of control just like normal, and they're right back where they were at the end of their recovery. What I don't want to see, because it's very, very common for this to happen, when they contact me, the first thing I tell them is, why'd you wait so long to contact me? Okay, and usually the response is, I didn't want to hurt your feelings, or I didn't want you to be upset with me. And what I like to make very clear, sorry, I got bugs all over me. What I like to make very clear to everyone is that you're never going to hurt my feelings if you relapse. Okay, that's part of the whole scenario, and that may be part of your story. Okay, so if that's what happens, that's what happens. But what I will be upset about is if you cut me off and feel as though, see, it fell off, sorry. I will be upset if you cut me off and cut me out of your life and then, you know, come back in. All right, I'd much rather you tell me and be upfront about it and say, listen, I screwed up, what do I do? Instead of closing me off for 6 months and going rampant. Because it's so important that when you do relapse, you pick right back up where you left off. All right, you pick yourself up and you say, you know what, shit, I screwed up. You don't go further down that rabbit hole, because far too many people fly down that rabbit hole. Sorry, I'm getting bit by bugs already. Okay, so I'm back in the car. Now, I had really good intentions for that video to take place on that river, and it was going really well for, you know, the 10 minutes I was before I started filming, finding the sticks to make a tripod, and then filming. But what happened was, is as soon as I start filming and talking, I had ants crawling up my legs, because, you know, I wasn't prepared. I came out in flip-flops. Ants crawling down up my legs, getting bit by mosquitoes, so that I dropped the camera. So it was just a train wreck. So I apologize. It's a beautiful background, and I would like to do more of that where I go out and get pretty backgrounds and do videos and stuff. But back to the topic, I'm talking about relapse. Now, relapse is something that is very much a part of recovery. It's very much a very dark part of recovery. Far too often, it is the reason that people overdose and have lethal overdoses, because when you use for a long period of time, you build a tolerance. Everyone knows that. when you do get clean, whether it is because you want to or under extreme circumstances like, going to rehab or going to prison, going to jail or whatever, when you get out and you decide, you know what, I want to use, never, okay, if you decide to go back to use, never, ever, ever go back to the dose you were using when you stopped. Okay, you would think it would be common sense not to do that, but too many people decide that they're going to either go back to the dose that they were using or even just cut it in half. And if you use for 2-3 years, your dose is going to be high. If you cut that dose in half, it's still going to be very high. All right, so if you haven't used in a long period of time and you go back to even half that dose, there's a good chance you might really screw yourself up. All right? So keep in mind that if you do go back to using, you don't go and get yourself killed. Okay? It's stupid as hell to me. I don't understand why people do it. But that's the name of the game. I mean, this is not easy. I mean, if it was easy, everyone would be clean. I wouldn't even be making videos, okay? And I understand that. So what I was saying before I cut the video off down by the river was that I never get upset with people relapsing. That's never the case whatsoever. I get upset when I don't hear from people for a long time. I start to worry. If they were the only person I have contact with, and I don't have contact with families all too often, I really don't. I'm usually just talking to the person. If I've Googled your name and I don't see anything in the papers, then I just figure, maybe they just relapsed and they haven't talked to me. And then if I do get contacted again and they say, I'm sorry, it's not like I'm going to give you an attitude. I'll never let you know that I'm upset with you. But in the back of my mind, I am a little upset that you didn't feel comfortable enough to just let me know, hey, I'm going back out. And I think the reason a lot of people don't feel comfortable doing that is because if they say they're going back out to me, they have to face the fact that they're doing it. All right, they have to actually own up to it. And most people don't want to own up to their relapse. They just want to use, forget about it, numb themselves. They'll get upset that they relapse and they'll use even more. It's just a vicious cycle. So what I like to tell people when they do relapse and they contact me right away, I tell them, listen, pick yourself up, get your ass up now. Do whatever you bought, whatever you have left over, flush the shit. I don't care. Get rid of it. Whatever you got to do, start over right now. Don't have a pity party. Don't say to yourself, well, you know what, since I already used Friday, I might as well use Saturday and Sunday and just, use the rest of what I got. Because I guarantee you, if you do that, you will be calling somebody on Sunday for more. All right? If you have that first time where you relapse and you say, shit, I shouldn't have done that, and you have stuff left over, get rid of it. Okay? Call me, get rid of it, text me, email me, whatever you got to do. If you take this step and say, you know what, I screwed up, I don't want to do this. Because most people, when they relapse, they don't even get high. They get so pissed off at themselves, they're like, why the hell did I do this? Then they get so upset that they did it that they try to get high to make up for how upset they are. And then they keep using until they develop the addiction again. It sounds so dumb when you say it out loud that you're not even getting high, but you're used to the rituals, and that's a whole nother thing I can go into, but you're used to the ritual and you think that if you keep using, eventually you'll get high and it'll mask the feelings that you have about being upset that you relapsed. Okay, so instead of doing that, pick yourself up, contact me, contact your sponsor, contact whoever it is, and get your shit together right away. Just say, shit, I screwed up. Who gives a shit about how many days you had clean? Start over. Because my pop-up told me at over 40 years, we're at one of the first meetings I went to, and he said everybody in this room has the same amount of time. And this is a guy that had over 40 years clean and sober, saying he's just like the guy next to him. And that's the way it is. I do not care how much time you have. No one gives a shit how much time I have. All right? It's all about what's in your own head. It's your own life, what you're doing with yourself. If you got 2 days, it's better than nothing. Straight up. Because if you don't have those 2 days and you decided to use for one more day, you could have been dead. Okay, so for today, you're clean. That's the only calculator or the time, and that's the only thing you really need, is if you're clean for today, good on you. Okay? I'm one of the biggest, how do I put this? Yes, I'm proud I have 7 years. Do I boast about it? No. Because I don't like it. I don't like when people say, I got 12 years, I got 10 years, and then they constantly talk about it, how much time they have, but they don't do anything for anybody. I'd rather hang out with somebody that's got 6 months that's busting their ass on their own life and helping other people than somebody with 12 years that, every once in a while will make a wisecrack about how much they know about everything. You know what I mean? It's almost like I don't know. I could do a whole video on that too. But if you do relapse, pick yourself up. Don't fall further down the rabbit hole and use just to mask the feelings of your relapse. Okay? You hear me? All right. If you'd like to share your story, you can write in to ryan@compsupport.com. In the subject line, put YouTube story, my story. Let me know if you want to use your first or last name or stay anonymous. I could use a lot more stories, people. I know plenty of you are watching the videos because within 2 hours, there's over 200 views. All right, so that's a lot of people I know who are out there that could share that, are busy, and I get it. But it would be awesome and mean a lot to me if you did share your story. And it would help people. Okay? So write in if you want to share. Check out some more videos. Leave some comments. And also, I don't know if you guys remember, Jason Peduzzi, his friend passed away. I did a video on it. And then his father passed away, who he was the caregiver for. He just contacted me last night and said that, he's back and wants to, be back in the game again, and if anybody needs help, to contact him. So I'm sure he will comment on this video because he's back at it. He contacted me yesterday. I had to actually text him right when I get off the phone. So check him out too. All right, leave some comments. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.